Hey Joe, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. I want to actually stick to my resolution for 2024 and have great credit and finances. Should I start with one or should I be focusing on both? What is your advice? So this is a really good question. I think the reason why a lot of people struggle with finances and credit is they try to tackle both at the same time instead of really having direct, very specific goals of what they actually want to accomplish. Because when you're trying to fix credit and finances, to do that within a year, it's possible depending on the situation. But if you're focusing on both, truly you're gonna kind of get overwhelmed. And so obviously step one would be to fix the credit, to start to dispute the items that are derogatory on the credit report and fix any structural issues within your credit, such as not having enough revolving credit, so opening some secured credit cards or paying down balances, or just some things that are financial that are hurting you now, like late payments or anything that's kind of keeping you from being able to pay your debt on time. Those would be the first things I'd focus on. So I'd get the credit repair going, because that process is going to probably take you about 90 days, if not longer, depending on how many disputes you need to do. While that's working, we're working on paying down balances or opening up secured credit cards if we're limited on credit. Looking at any of our recent payment history, are we paying all of our payments on time? So making sure we get caught up there first. So I think that's where the intention needs to go first. Once you kind of go through that, then I would move on to step two, which is while your credit's being fixed, you've identified kind of where the issue is, and then you start tackling it. Making your payments on time, getting your balances paid down to 1% of the overall credit limit, and then start to work on creating an emergency fund so we can get these credit cards paid off, keep your balances low, and then you can start working on financial structure, which is setting up a budget, which I talk about a lot in my videos. But I think that in order for a goal for 2024 to stick, we have to be really, really intentional of what our true outcome we want to happen is. Because I don't think we really identify that. We just say, hey, I want great credit and great finances. And that's a lot. That's a lot to unravel, and that's a massive goal that most people are going to fail at because they're not intentional with just really the steps of how they're going to get there, and say, you know what, I'm going to give up everything. This is important to me, and kind of really tackle it, because it can get very discouraging when you're fixing your credit and you're trying to budget and do all those things. I always say set manageable goals for each quarter instead of an entire year. I mean, in fact, you could even do it for each week, especially when you start to budget and you start to set yourself a goal for what you want to, how you want to budget, and you find out what your actual spending limitations are, and you have to stay within or below those. You have to be really intentional at that time to want to do that, because if not, you'll last a few days or a week, and then it won't be sustainable for the entire year. So long story short, my advice is to kind of break it into pieces, be really intentional. Let's start with the credit, then let's tackle the finances. I have plenty of content that I've put out on how to set up a budget and how to do all that. If you have any questions, feel free to DM me or send me a message. I'd be happy to help. But it's good to start early for 2024. It's always good to start in the new year, so you can start to be really intentional. And I look forward to seeing you at the end of the year and seeing how much progress you've made.